What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy, the Laptop Legend, here with your daily update on TSNP. Now, if you remember from yesterday, I overnighted 5,000 shares of this, and it pretty much did, kind of what I was expecting. It got back to its old habits of having a small gap up and then a morning panic and then a bounce out of that. Now, I was actually so focused on MRNJ that I royally screwed this up and didn't even follow the trade. I pretty much did the exact opposite of what I told you guys in the last video and the exact opposite of the plan that I had for what I thought this stock was going to do. So I actually sold some. Well, I guess I sold my whole position when it was tanking down, and then, it ended up bouncing past where I'd sold it, and it went up, broke past 20, and it closed higher than it closed yesterday, but overall, it was kind of a weird day. In general, I think the volume was lower because it is the Christmas Eve trading day that is shorter, and not as many people are trading this stock. So just in general, I think that had an effect on it, and an effect on the price action. So I think, it's going to be interesting going into next week, seeing what is going to happen with this stock. But I just want to look at, kind of the intraday of the chart and then the overall daily chart, the year chart, and what all of this means in terms of what we can expect for this stock moving forward. So let's dive into my computer and make this a quick and good one. All right, guys, I'm here on my computer, and this is the daily chart for TSNP. Now, you can see I locked in some incredible profits today, $15.25. That is enough, definitely for a foot long, not just a 6-inch this time. So we are really, we're making some progress in my trading career. Really excited for that. No, but in all seriousness, you can see that this stock did, what I said earlier. It gapped up a little bit and then it tanked down at morning open. We had a pretty big panic, and I actually was part of that panic because I fell victim to that. It's kind of scary when you have your position, when you overnight and you don't think about it. And then suddenly there's a ton of sellers and it's breaking down. You don't know how far it's going to go. So in this case, I ended up selling in here. I sold, 19.32. You can see here when it broke past 19.5. When it broke down past there, I ended up selling. So, again, it was 15 profit. But in this case, it had a beautiful bounce. Look for these morning bounces, these morning panics, and then a huge bounce on TSNP. Happens all the time. Very predictable move. Again, the only reason that I messed that up was because I was so focused on M, R, and J. I just did another video on that. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out after this one. But in today's video, let's just talk about this chart. So, what do we see here? This is pretty typical of what we've been seeing on TSNP the last, couple of weeks. So, we have some big moves in the beginning of the day, and then it just kind of fades down a little bit, and we see some more consolidation. So, you can see this entire thing is pretty much, if we take these, it's pretty much all within this general area. And, it's kind of just bouncing back and forth between these trend lines. And really not doing too much. But in this case, I think it's actually a good thing because, even though it rejected 20, it looks like pretty hard. It rejected 20. Overall, it was able to break past above that, and it closed positive on the day. So, if you go look at this chart, what's funny is it actually is going to be a red candle. And the reason for that is it gapped up, and I think it closed below where it gapped to, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so because it gapped up so high, it closed a little bit below where it gapped up to, which is what's funny. But in terms of the overall chart, this is still above where it was yesterday. So we're still continuing on up, and I think definitely it could see a push through 20 and continue on up. Now, with that being said, I don't think anything, again, has changed in the long-term, forward-looking aspect of this stock. So if you're holding this long-term, I don't think it really makes a difference what it does here. And we have to remember, as momentum traders, nothing has changed in the long-term of this stock. So they haven't released any new crazy info on this stock. Nothing has changed. The ticker hasn't updated to HMBL yet. That's not going to happen until Q1. So, it's still a little bit of ways, and nothing really in terms of an impetus to drive this stock on upward is going to happen. So, it would not surprise me if it faded back down a little bit if it, if it rejected 20 again on Monday and then continued to fade down and, bounced off of this level and just continued to form like kind of a stair-stepping pattern. But we really don't know in this case. So it's mainly based on the technical chart. I would say I'm optimistic based on what I saw today that it continues on up and tests 20 again and is able to break it. But you never know on this stock. So if you're holding long-term, just be patient, I would say. And if you're in for the day trades, look for these dips because they always happen. And also, look to buy the breakouts, because if this had a breakout of, if it had more time and it really broke out and had a decisive breakout past past this area and started perking back up and broke back above 20, I probably would have bought it here. There was a nice perk up in volume here, which prevented the stock from continuing on down, which means, someone is wanting to get in this. So you have to look at all these factors. And honestly, overall, I still think you guys are looking good. So we just have to see what happens. Again, I don't currently have any position in the stock, but definitely will be looking to buy some morning panics and buy some breakouts on this, because that is typically, what has been working on this. I might get distracted again with this MRNJ, depending on what it does. I might need to watch it more carefully now that it's moving considerably more, having more of a substantial move, versus just ticking back and forth between these, hundredth of a cent moves. So now that we're actually seeing some action, this takes more monitoring. So I might not be able to buy the TSNP dip, but that's what I'm gonna be looking for. So ultimately, I think that is the takeaway from this. This is a decent move. We're still above yesterday, and I still think we could test 20 and break through it, but there's not any new news coming in the immediate future, so it could also fade back down. So just be ready no matter what it does, and trade smart. Don't lose your profits. If you're holding this for a long run, I think you're fine. Nothing has changed. So that is it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, please smash that like button. And I think this is the last video I'm going to make today. So I hope you guys have a beautiful Christmas Eve with your families, or if you celebrate something else, that you have a beautiful time with your family and really enjoy it. Take a break from the market and, just relax and get your head back screwed on straight, because it can be kind of tough staring at these numbers all day. I thought I read 10 trillion shares outstanding on this stock, and it ended up MRNJ, and it ended up being 10 billion. I started reading extra zeros because I was staring at my computer so long. So sometimes it's good to take a break. Remember that. So anyways, that is it. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.